Hello, my dear friends.
Today,
I am going to tell you the story of a warrior known as the Red Spirit. Then the story begins. The sun, a pale, anemic thing in the overcast sky, cast long shadows across the cobblestone streets of White Tree Village. The air hung heavy with the scent of pine and damp earth, a stark contrast to the usual cheerful aroma of wood smoke and freshly baked bread. The villagers, their faces etched with worry, huddled together, their eyes searching the horizon for any sign of the Red Spirit. He was their only hope, a beacon of courage in a world that had grown increasingly dark and unforgiving. The whispers of his name, the Red Spirit, traveled faster than any messenger, carrying the promise of salvation and striking fear into the hearts of their enemies. They'd heard the tales, passed down through generations, of his unwavering strength and unmatched skill. He had faced down shadow demons, vanquished monstrous creatures, and stood against the very forces of darkness that threatened to engulf their world. His crimson armor, a sight to behold, gleamed like a living flame in the dim light, a testament to his fiery spirit. This time, however, the threat was different, more insidious. It wasn't a single beast they needed to slay, but a creeping darkness that threatened to consume their very souls. The whispers spoke of a corruption spreading from the dark world, gnawing at the edges of reality, turning men into shadows and hearts into cold, empty vessels. The Red Spirit himself had remained in White Tree Village for weeks, observing, listening, gathering information. His crimson eyes, usually filled with a fierce determination, were shadowed with concern. The darkness was unlike anything he had ever encountered, a silent, insidious tide that seemed to seep into every corner of their lives. He was a warrior, not a healer. He fought for his people with the strength of his arms and the sharpness of his sword. But this time, he knew he needed more. He needed to delve into the heart of the darkness, to seek the source of the corruption and stop it before it consumed everything he held dear. The villagers watched as the Red Spirit, adorned in his armor, his red cloak billowing in the wind, walked towards the edge of the village. They had no words for their fear, no chance of encouragement, only a silent prayer for his safe return. He walked for days, the path ahead cloaked in a perpetual twilight. The air grew colder, the silence thicker, until even the sound of his own breath was unnerving. He stopped at a crossroads, the path ahead splitting into three, each leading towards a different part of the dark world. He closed his eyes, his mind reaching out, sensing the threads of darkness, weaving a tapestry of terror and despair. He chose the path that pulsed with the darkest energy, the one that whispered of a source, a heart of the corruption. He walked deeper into the darkness, his armor reflecting the faintest glimmer of light, a lonely beacon in the encroaching gloom. He encountered creatures of shadow, their eyes glowing like embers, their forms twisted and grotesque. They attacked, their whispers echoing in the silence, their claws reaching for his flesh. But the Red Spirit, fueled by his unwavering resolve, fought back, his sword flashing like a crimson bolt, each strike a testament to his skill and power. He finally found himself in a cave, the entrance guarded by a massive obsidian statue, its eyes glowing with an eerie green light. It moved with a slow, deliberate grace, its steps echoing through the cavern. The Red Spirit knew this was a guardian, a creature of immense power, the very embodiment of the darkness he sought. The battle was brutal, a clash of fire and shadow, of hope and despair. The Red Spirit, fueled by his anger and determination, fought with a ferocity that had never been seen before. The cave shook with the force of their blows, the air thick with the scent of ozone and burning flesh. Finally, the Red Spirit, with a mighty thrust of his sword, pierced the heart of the obsidian statue. The creature let out a scream that echoed through the cavern, a sound that seemed to crack the very foundations of the world. Then, with a shudder, it crumbled into dust. The Red Spirit stood, exhausted, his armor stained with sweat and the blood of his enemy. He closed his eyes, focusing his mind, reaching out with his spirit. He felt a shift in the darkness, a ripple in the tide of corruption. It was receding, slowly but surely, returning to its source. He knew he had done it. He had faced the heart of the darkness and emerged victorious. He had fought for his people, for his world, for the light that shone so brightly in his heart. He was the Red Spirit, and his legend was growing, as vast and enduring as the darkness he had overcome. He left the cave, his steps lighter, his heart filled with hope. He had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, not by brute force, but by the strength of his spirit, his unwavering resolve, and his belief in the power of light. The Red Spirit,
the protector of White Tree Village, was more than just a warrior. He was a symbol of hope, beacon of courage in a world that desperately needed both. He knew that the world was a darker place than it had ever been, but he also knew that as long as there were those who fought for the light, There would always be hope. This story ends here. See next video with another thrilling story. And don't forget to subscribe.